always going to try and achieve something that I haven't before, I guess is what I'm trying.
Is there a pretty clear straight line between what you did in the beginning, when the band first came together, the first year or so, and what you're doing now, musically? It's a pretty clear straight line.
A growth from...
right. I mean, there's no dramatic departure between where you are today in terms of musically. It's a growth, it's an evolution, it's better. They all say this is better than...
Yeah, I think there's a change. I hope that there will be a progress. Like I said, as long as we remain critical, as long as I remain critical of myself, I hope that that'll be the tool that'll allow me to get better. I'm always hoping that I'll satisfy the critic inside of me, more than.
How are you doing on that score?
I'm doing okay. He's all right.
Is he okay?
Me. He can, but I'll think he's not paying attention, or that he's joined with me, and then all of a sudden he'll come up behind me and hit me in the kidneys.
Like a little bird. I mean, does he speak to you after each performance and say, "Not as good as last night, Dave"?
Yeah, he certainly does. We're now in counseling.
Counseling?
Yeah, so, does he speak to you after the performance?
Yeah, right. We are. That's right. We are. Dr. Rose is here to listen.
He's louder in a lot of ways than anyone else, because I can walk off the stage after a great night and be apologizing to everyone. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Come on.
I do sometimes do that, but
you walk off the stage, you've had a great night, the audience is thrilled, they're still standing up, they're still applauding, and you're off the stage and you're saying...
No, I'm saying great night, but at the same time I'm going, but I couldn't get my... Carter and I, who really communicate on the stage a lot, I spend a lot of my time focused on Carter, the drummer. We have this term where it's a great night, but every once in a while, like I use the word joy, that it sort of carries you. And the night comes to an end, and it's like, wow, that was a great feeling. And then there's other nights where it's work, it's you to reach inside yourself. I don't know if I knew. I just turn the joy button on all the time. Oh, happy.
You don't know.
I don't know.
It could have been you didn't have a good night before, or it could have been
it could
anything.
It could be anything, because truthfully, there's nights when I think it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And our sound man, or maybe Carter, was it was okay.
Do you write everything?
No, the songs that I've written, that I bring in, we sit in if I come in with a song, we sort of sit and arrange everything around. Everyone plays and find melodies to loop around. So it's really the final product is even on a song that I may have been playing for a couple of months and brought in. The final product that gets on an album is very often quite different from
including lyrics.
Lyrics, I always write all the lyrics.
Yeah. But the lyrics come after the music or before the music?
Sometimes before, sometimes after. Usually somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, there's a kind of, you have a sense of what you want to say, and you've sort of created this, and then they come in and make it better.
Yeah, certainly.
The music, the melody.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we write together. There's also songs that that have sort of come out of just playing together, and the song grow out of that. And we say, well, that's nice. Let's work on that,
Where does it come from?
There's a solitude in that I writing for me when I sit down to write, or when I find an inspired moment. It's lyrically or whatever. It's really a loneliness but it's being alone. And I love it. I think to me that's the most precious time, when I come up with something that I think is beautiful, wherever it comes from, from the 1,000 things that I've heard or whatever it is. It's when I think that something's appropriate, or I think it's beautiful, or it's that moment. Such a comfortable loneliness, and then I'm just hoping that I can bring it out, out of myself, or make it happen as nice as it sits inside of my head. But that's a very different. I was leading up to this show. Actually, I was trying to think of what's the difference between when we're performing or when we're playing together, and when I'm writing lyrics or the small beginnings of a song, and this really feels like two different people. One, the performer being sort of this, I guess, the showman that I have a great time being inside of his body almost, but he doesn't feel as much like me as the.
You feel more the guy that's alone writing the songs. That's more who you feel you are.
Yeah, because I feel really present in that, and when it's flowing, when it's coming to me, that nasty critic is usually not there. I've escaped him.
It's flown away.
Yeah,
so
you're
getting
a cup of coffee.
Flying yourself.
Yeah, and so he often comes back and after he's finished his tea.
Is it easier to get into the groove to do that now than it has ever been? I mean,
no, I find it in a way harder because there's more around me. There's more people around me, more people I care about, and more people I'm worried about, more people worried about me, that I find myself often I find it harder to get into a sense of solitude and be comfortable in it. But I get there occasionally. I just recently took a trip across the country with my sweetheart, my partner, and we drove. She's going to school in Seattle, and we drove slowly across the country, and we hiked in the Badlands and camped in Glacier Park, and I found him there a little bit, you know, out in the woods.
The solitude person.
Yeah, the solitude person, hoping that if anyone was going to come over the hill, that it would be a bear or not a bear, my internal critic or something. But sitting out in the woods, I had a great time out there. But I do find it more rare that because I'm not alone as much.
Does she inspire you?
She certainly does.
You better say it.
Yeah, she certainly does. She's right here, staring down. No, I'm only kidding. But she inspires me.
Yeah, go Dave, go. Yeah. Is there a line, a lyric that's most meaningful to you, that you're the happiest about, you're proud about, you like the most? I mean, I don't want to ask what's the best one, but what's the one that...
There's one that I like just because my sister said she wanted to write a short story around it, a children's story around it. I like just because it's a fun sort of image. That's let me climb up you to the top so I can see the view from up there, tangled in your hair. And I like it just because it's simple and it's adoring, and it's not too pretentious, which I'm afraid of being sometimes, and it just is a sweet worship in a way of somebody.
Do you have to? That's nice. Do you have to work at? You said pretentious. I don't want to be pretentious. I mean, I would assume it seems to know you as long as I have, which is about 39 minutes. You seem to be so natural. Do you have to work at that, or is it just, in other words, you have to constantly say, let's not get too serious about this. Yes, I'm making a ton of money, and yes, people say a lot of wonderful things about this music and this band, and a lot of people evidently want to come if they will sell out an hour and a half, 60,000 seats. But, keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Or that's a little critic in the back saying.
Yeah, he does. He helps, and my family help, and my friends help keep the really truly important things, friendships and loves and family, manage to, because I've been so lucky with those in my life that I think I manage then to see the lights and the glitz and the covers of magazines as not so yeah. And I see my stomach, that also keeps my feet on the ground. There it is.
Yeah. You've also known tragedy in your family.
Yeah, we've had in our family, I guess every family has it in a way, but we've had a loss, but in some ways I think rather than that sort of breaking our family apart, I think in many ways the bonds that tied us together when we lost a member of the when we've lost a member of the family, that it's almost as if it's gotten tighter, and that we've come to each other,
Yeah.
as opposed to breaking away from each other.